My people, let me tell you what is happening right now because the matter no small at all. And as you are watching this video, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. What is happening in Nigeria right now has created serious tension, especially in the northern part of the country, because the United States government has finally stepped fully into the issue of killings, bandit attacks, and the long-running crisis that has disturbed many communities. But the main shocker, Senate, is that the US is now moving in the direction of identifying and going after the people believed to be sponsoring these violent groups, especially those involved in attacks that have affected Christian communities. So the gist is deep and you need to pay attention. Everything started because many groups around the world, especially Christian organizations and human rights groups, have been shouting for years that the killings in Nigeria are too much and that many of the affected people are Christians in rural areas. These organizations accused some powerful individuals of supporting or allowing these attackers to operate without consequences. The matter reached the United States Congress, and instead of just talking, the US set up a full investigation to understand what is really happening. Please, as you are listening, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the story. Now, this investigation is not a small one. The congressmen in America said they want to look into where Nigeria is facing something like a systematic attack on Christian communities. They said they want to know the truth, not rumors. And my people, anytime America carries matter like this, it usually leads to major pressure on the country involved. That is why tension is rising. The fear is not only about the investigation itself, but about what the US might do afterward. Because if they believe the killings were targeted, they can place sanctions, restrict aid, and even call out individuals believed to be sponsoring violent groups. Nigeria's government, on the other hand, is saying that the matter is not about religion. They said the insecurity in the country has affected everybody, Christians, Muslims, and people of all backgrounds. They said the issue is banditry, terrorism, economic frustration, and poor security, not a planned attack against a particular group. And truly, we all know many communities in the north have faced terrible situations. But the US says they want to hear from everybody, so they invited Nigerian religious leaders and American diplomats to speak. But let me break it down in a way everybody can understand. And please remember to like this video and subscribe so you'll always get clear explanations like this. The US is not only looking at the killings, they are also looking at the people behind the scenes. The people supporting, funding, or allowing certain groups to operate. And once America starts tracing sponsors, the matter becomes serious because they don't joke with their intelligence gathering. They can freeze accounts, restrict individuals from traveling, and even release the names publicly. That is why some people are very worried. The tension is now building in the north because many people fear that this investigation will expose certain powerful people who have been hiding behind these scenes. Some of the bandit groups have been operating freely for too long, and the US is asking how they get their weapons, how they get money, who is backing them. And by the way, if you are following this story clearly, kindly like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next updates. Another area causing serious talk is the fact that some foreign observers believe Christian communities have been targeted more often. But many Nigerian officials say that is not the case. They say the violence is happening to everybody, and the US should be careful not to create more division with their investigation. This is part of why government officials are preparing their own full response, trying to present a complete picture so the US will not act only on one narrative. But you see, no matter how we look at it, it is clear that the US wants to dig deep. They are listening to faith leaders, eyewitnesses, community representatives, and diplomats. Some of the witnesses they called have been describing how villages were attacked, how people were driven away, and how the state has struggled to control bandit groups for many years. The US said they want to know if the Nigerian government has been doing enough, or if some people in authority are benefiting from the chaos. And please, as you are listening, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so I can continue bringing you these deep stories in simple English. Now, here is where the matter gets even more intense. Some US congressmen said that if they find evidence that sponsors of bandits and insurgent groups are operating freely in Nigeria, they will push for action against them. This is the part that made many Nigerians shocked because America doesn't usually threaten action unless they have already gathered some information. They are not saying the names yet, but they are saying they want accountability. And accountability from the United States usually means sanctions. Sanction means they can block people's bank accounts, they can ban them from entering the US, and they can even push for international restrictions. If America does that, other European countries might join. That is why government officials in Nigeria are moving quickly to explain the situation in their own way. They are trying to show that insecurity is a national challenge, not targeted persecution. But the US has already said they want to look at both sides, hear both arguments, and then decide. And also, as you are watching this video, I want you to please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the rest of this story. This gist is very deep, and the more you listen, the more you understand what is truly happening behind the scenes. The truth is, the investigation from the US is shaking a lot of tables in Nigeria. It is forcing everyone to talk more openly about the insecurity problem. It is also raising fresh questions. Who is really behind the bandit groups? Who is financing them? How are they able to move in large numbers? Who is supplying them with weapons? Why has it been so difficult to stop them? The United States wants answers to these questions, and they want the answers now. So, my people, as we continue this matter, the real issue now is that the United States is no longer just observing from far away. They are stepping directly into the conversation. And you know, when the US steps into any international matter, it usually brings pressure, investigation, and sometimes heavy consequences. This is why there is growing tension in the North. Many people are worried that the international community may start pointing fingers at specific individuals or groups inside Nigeria. And as we continue, please like this video and subscribe so you will always get news explained in a way you can understand. The US Congress is saying they want to hear the truth from both sides. They have invited witnesses, leaders, diplomats, and different organizations. They want to hear real testimonies from Nigerians who have seen these attacks. They want to hear from religious leaders who have spoken about violence happening in their communities. They want to hear from the US State Department representatives about what the American intelligence has gathered so far. And let me tell you something important, my people. When America starts asking these kinds of questions, it means they already have pieces of information. They are just connecting the dots. They want to confirm what they already suspect. That is why officials in Nigeria are responding quickly, saying the killings are not a targeted attack on one religious group, but a general insecurity challenge affecting everyone. But the US still insists on carrying out the full investigation. Now, this is where the matter becomes more emotional. Many Nigerian Christians, especially those living in rural parts of the North, have been shouting for years that the communities are being attacked repeatedly. They have been crying that they are not getting enough protection. So some people are happy that the US is finally paying attention, while others are worried that the investigation could make Nigeria look unstable before the whole world. This mix of reactions is part of why the tension is so high. Please, my lovely viewers, as you are following this, kindly like this video and subscribe. Supporting the channel helps us continue sharing stories in a way that makes sense to everyone. The investigation is also raising bigger questions about governance and responsibility. Because if an international body begins to trace sponsors of bandits, it means that some people somewhere inside or outside the country might be exposed. And that is why there is fear. Many Nigerians believe that some well-connected individuals may have secretly benefited from the crisis or allowed it to continue because it serves their political or economic interests. The US wants to find out whether these kinds of allegations are true. They want to know if bandits get support from powerful people. They want to know whether any Nigerian citizen or group has been helping violent organizations through funding, weapons, or protection. If the investigation confirms this, the US could announce sanctions. And sanctions are not small punishments. Sanctions can destroy careers, businesses, reputations, and international access. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that you will keep getting deep breakdowns like this. Now let me explain how sanctions work in simple terms. Imagine a very powerful country telling banks around the world, do not accept money from this person. Imagine them telling airlines, do not allow this person to enter your country. Imagine them telling companies, do not do business with this person. That is the kind of effect sanctions have, and that is why people are afraid. Some people are asking, why is America doing this now? Why not years ago when the violence first started? Part of the reason is that global attention is now higher. Reports and videos from Nigeria have been circulating around the world. International churches and advocacy groups have been sending letters and reports to Washington. And now, with the number of attacks increasing, America is saying they can no longer ignore it. Nigeria's government is defending its position strongly. They say, we are doing our best. The attacks are not one-sided. We are fighting bandits, insurgents, and criminals across the country. They say international partners should understand that insecurity is complex and not caused by one group alone. They say the US should avoid creating a religious angle that may worsen division. And honestly, this is a valid concern because sometimes outside pressure can make local tensions worse if not handled properly. But the US is still going ahead with the investigation. Witnesses have been lined up. Reports are being reviewed. Testimonies are being collected. America wants clear answers. And as the investigation continues, the whole world is watching. Please, my people, before I continue, like this video and subscribe so you can follow this story until the end. The truth is that whether we agree with the US or not, the insecurity situation in Nigeria is real and it has affected many families. Communities have been destroyed, people have been displaced, young people have been kidnapped, businesses have suffered. And the question remains, who is really allowing this violence to continue? The US is not only asking that question for Nigeria's sake, they are asking because instability in a country like Nigeria affects the whole region. Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa. Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa. So if insecurity continues, it can affect international trade, regional peace, and even global political stability. Nigeria's leaders now have a tough job. They must defend the country's reputation. They must protect national unity, and they must present a strong argument to the US Congress to show that Nigeria is not neglecting Christian communities or allowing bandits to operate freely. They must show that they are doing everything possible to restore peace. But at the same time, Nigerians want real action at home. Many people want to see arrests. They want to see real sponsors exposed. They want to see government take stronger steps to secure communities. Because if the US investigation leads to action before Nigeria's leaders take action, it will make the government look weak.